Now, in many of my videos, I show you how you can use Claude Code to build out nice, fancy front-end designs, but Claude Code is not very good at building backends, building databases to store data. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can change that by using a tool called Convex. And it's a real-time backend tool that you can integrate to Claude Code and basically create your own backend with just prompts, right? And for example, in today's video, I created a live ticketing app. So for example, this is one completely different browser tab and this is another one. And I can choose these three seats. They get kind of marked out over here. And I can click on checkout, for example, pay this. And now they're completely gone from here. And everything is kind of stored in real time. You don't have to refresh anything. There's no back and forth with the database. It's all there in real time. And it's the most efficient way to easily build out a structured backend system for your Claude Code projects. And now the tool that we're going to be using today to build this is called Convex. And it's basically backend building blocks that you can give to your agent, and everything is in real time. So I can, for example, click on one of these examples. Here, this is our database, and this is the front end, basically like a bullet list of things to check out. And as I click on these buttons, the backend changes in real time. And Convex has an MCP that you can easily install to Claude Code Cursor Codex. But if you're using Claude Code, in this case, in this video, we're going to be using Claude Code, it's best to install the Convex plugin. And so what you want to do is you want to open up the Claude Desktop app and you want to go over here to connectors under settings, click on add, then browse connectors. Then we can go under plugins and then partners and search for Convex and select Convex and install it. Now, for the first example that I want to show you here, the concept is around a topic called reactive queries. And to understand this concept, think of, a ticketing platform where you want to buy a concert ticket. Anna and Ben both want to buy a concert ticket. They both look at the same seat at the same time. And then let's say that Anna buys a ticket a little bit earlier than Ben tries to buy it. And so she buys a ticket, she gets a ticket, Ben goes through the entire process and only at the end gets an error saying, hey, this ticket is not available anymore. Sorry, please refresh. Now, with backends like Convex, this doesn't happen. This happens in real time. Anna takes that seat, that automatically pushes to their front end, and they automatically know that this is taken in real time without having to deal with that whole process. And so in order to test this concept, we can open up Claude Code and open up a brand new folder just to test out this concept, right? So, and what I'm going to write is the following: using Convex, build a concert seat picker, schema for events and seats, a live seat map, and claiming a seat should propagate to every connected client without polling. So it's going to look for these events and seats. It's going to have a live seat map, and without polling, that means that basically the front end is not going to ask the user like, hey, anything new, want to refresh? So I'm going to go ahead and submit this prompt, and it ran this Convex design skill that's included in this Convex plugin. And so what we get here on the right side is this fictional concert with the stage view. These are the different seats. And I, for example, can click number 3. Or actually, better yet, let's open this in the browser. So I'm just going to take this localhost link. And here I have two different browser tabs with two different profiles. And I can, for example, select this one. And now over here in the second one, it's grayed out. So I can select like these first 3 seats. Now these first 3 seats are taken. And I can do the same thing over here. These 3, now they're taken over here. And this is like the, very simple concept of this. And when we go to Convex, we can go to our dashboard. I have several projects, but we can click on this one. We now have our project dashboard set up where we can, for example, look at our data, and you can ask the AI to create different types of data tables, like things related to authentication or certain events or certain categories of events. And now another powerful thing about Convex is vector searches. So let's go back to our ticketing app that we're building. We have Anna who's looking for a ticket still. She's looking for these keywords called emo night. And traditionally, with another type of ticketing software, she would search for the keywords emo night. And because there aren't any events with this specific keyword, she would get 0 events. And there's actually a show that she'd want to go to called 2000s Pop Punk Revival, but no words really match this. But with Convex, you can basically send emo night. Convex will read it as a vector index. Basically, they share no letters, but they share a meaning, and thus that takes Anna to her desired event. So I can go back to our chat thread in Claude Code and write something like, hey, using Convex, add event search to the ticketing app, embed every event description on right, and rank events by semantic similarity to a plain English query. It has to find the right show when 0 keywords match, no external vector database. So let's go ahead and submit this. And so now what we get is we get a list of different concerts. So for example, we have rock, we have reggae. I don't even know what the concerts are called, but I can say like, hey, let's put reggae, click on search. We then get the probability, hey, 30% reggae, this is the top one. And then I can put something like music in Spanish, right? Click on search, and then Fuego Latino, Latin music as a top result. And then I can just choose this and select the seats, and then it continues on with the reactive queries that I showed you before. And also in the Convex dashboard under data, we have new tables, we have events, and we also have seats. And the third thing that I want to show you is something called actions, which kind of applies to the checkout process. And again, this is like the same system that you want to add so that two people don't get the same ticket and don't pay for the same ticket. And for this, you can say something like, hey, using Convex, add checkout to the seat picker, charge card transactions through the Stripe API, then mark the seat sold and render a receipt. If the right transaction retries, the card must not be charged a second time. And then we can just simulate this, right? I'm just gonna go over here, search for Spanish, search Latin. Let's go down here. We're gonna do the same thing over here, Latino, click on search, choose this one, go down here. And now I'm gonna click on these first two over here, click on checkout and pay this. And now it says done, and now it's completely off. Like these are gray, that means that it's taken, and these are just sold. So we can click on done, and now these are yours. We paid for them. But something that's kind of off here is that I don't want to, select a ticket and that it's completely, taken. Maybe I forget to close the browser and I'm off, and this guy can't buy the tickets and they want to buy this ticket, but here it says that, it's selected. There should be like some type of timer, right? Maybe like 2 minutes that we select this, and if we don't do anything, then our session is over. And this is a scheduled function and cron job. So it's 3 a.m. Before you would have to monitor the ticket, and then afterwards, after several minutes, the seat is available again, and you can eventually buy that ticket because in the other browser it kind of timed out. So as a prompt, we can say, hey, using Convex, again, hold a claimed seat for 10 minutes. Let's actually put for 2 minutes. If checkout does not complete, release it back to the map for everyone. Schedule the release inside the same transaction that claims the seat. It must never be callable from a client, and it must never release a seat that has already been paid for. So we can go ahead and submit this. And so let's just test this again, right? I'm going to select these two seats over here. It says held for 2 minutes. So let's just wait out these 2 minutes. And so we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now these get taken away, and now these are available in the other browser session. And by the way, again, everything gets stored automatically in these tables, everything from checkouts to events to receipts to seats to even Stripe ledgers. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. If you have any comments or questions about this, please let me know down in the comments below. And like always, thank you all so much for watching. Hope to see you next time. Goodbye.